welcome to the Writers Show. And today with me, I have comedian Richard Mullen. And we're going to be talking about his journey in comedy and, of course, the highs, the lows, and hopefully, if people watching, including myself, we can be motivated from this. So, Richard, how did you get your start in comedy? What gave you the idea, hey, I can do this?
Well, I've been sick a lot of my life, and I used to make all my doctors and nurses laugh. And I realized that it was a risky business to make surgeons laugh when they're about to do surgery on you. But it made me feel better, and it also made them feel better and more awake and able to service me better. So I met Joey Elias, and he said that I was funny. And basically why he thought it was funny was I went to see a show of his class graduating, and a lady was very rude with me, and I had basically one eye patch at the beginning. And I said to her, she said, I didn't pay $20 to see your backside. And then I looked at her and said, I wouldn't pay $100 to see your backside. And it made Joey Elias laugh, and the rest is history.
Fantastic. And so that experience now, you produce a lot of shows.
Yes, I do.
And during that time, like we have spoken, whether it be through messenger, telephone, and you've had many obstacles along the way, in which I know many people would say would just give everything up. What kept you motivated?
I'm a stubborn Irishman. I wasn't going to let it beat me. I had too much to live for, and I didn't know it all until recently. And basically, I wanted to be known that if eventually it came and I passed away, that I did everything and anything to survive.
And can you tell us some of the ailments that you had?
Okay, this is now going to become a 3-hour documentary like Steve Martin. Here we go. I started off with juvenile diabetes generic, which meant no matter what I did, I was going to get all the complications that go along with diabetes, despite the fact I took care of myself. I've been blind 3 times. I've had skin cancer. I've had kidney failure. I've had pancreatitis. I've had skin cancer. A whole bunch of stuff. I had a double transplant. I had a pancreas and a kidney transplant. That's where a lot of my material comes from, because believe it or not, stupidity is funny all the way through. And basically the funniest part of getting a transplant is the call you get, because they actually ask you in the call if you're healthy.
That would leave me a little perplexed. Are you healthy? Yes, but...
Oh, I wasn't polite. I basically said that, sure, I'm healthy, I'm on the list to pick up chicks. And she didn't get it. And I still had the transplant nonetheless.
Right, and during all that, I know you still put on the shows, you still kept your commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Was it hard? Was there days that you get up, I don't want to do this, but I have to? Or did you get up saying, no, I got to do this?
Of course, I've had days where I'm like, why? Is it worth it? And then something weird will happen, and then I know it is. Like, I went to a big gala, and this gentleman stopped me, and he said, thank you, and asked for my autograph. And I asked him what he's thanking me for, and he said, you helped me be brave enough to go on dialysis. So when I heard that, I'm like, oh, I guess I do have a calling. And I signed his autograph, but I just said I won't sign a check.
Fantastic. And from the shows you've put on, you've done you've put on open mics, you do like big shows. Mm-hmm. From the open mics, like I know when I've done it with you, hey, try it this way, try that. You give good advice, mm-hmm. And You once told me the friends you came with, I liked them. They were honest. Like they flat out told you you bombed today, and which other people, and you said those are the friends you need, the ones that will be honest.
Of course.
And it's something I respect about you. You know, like people go up, dude, you killed it. But if you would have done it this way, it would have been better. And it's something I've always taken to heart. But are there comedians that like are rolling their eyes, like saying, "What do you know?" or this and that?
You face that in everything in life. Like, I'm sure a lot of teachers, what they go through it every day. The kids hear something and they roll their eyes, yeah, right, everything like that. But the ones that are really committed to doing comedy properly, they listen. But it has to be delivered properly also. It's like, I could remember giving you advice and you were given the similar advice today. Calm down, relax, slow down. Because then they'll hear your joke, react to your joke. But if you're, they don't hear anything. And that's important. It's communication. And also speaking proper English or French, whatever language you're doing it in. I find that's very important, and it does lack a lot in comedians today.
Yes, there's the lack, and now, like these days, there's also the fear. You can't say this, you can't say that, and even like for some people, a joke about crossing the street and almost getting run over, it's like you're being offensive to people that can't drive, but it's. You like, what do you think about? Yes, we have to be careful, but
I don't bother. The sign that says comedy show is my best ally. They should know what they're getting into when they go to a comedy show. Yes, you're gonna get the woke people that come in and they're just looking for trouble. That's where people that know me say I specialize of putting them in their place. Like I remember one show, someone got upset because I did a Maurice Chevalier accent. And they said, "Oh, that's Pepe Le Pew. And Pepe Le Pew is horrible," and et cetera, et cetera. I said, "But do you like Maurice Chevalier?" And yes, I love Maurice Chevalier. I go, "You ever hear his song, Thank Heaven for Little Girls?" And then they basically be quiet for the rest of the show. Comedy is to give a break, in my opinion, to the sad reality that's going on in life. Of course, there's things I won't joke about, not much, but there's stuff I won't touch. And it's also basically survival.
we're not here to insult you. Like, if you're going to be heckling, you better be ready to receive. It's the way I look. It's the way I look at it.
Yes and no. My theory of hecklers is 3 strikes. The first one, you give it to them because it could enhance the show. The second one, you let them know they're getting annoying. And third, it's take no fucking prisoners.
Precisely. And let's talk about the UCC. When you put on a lot of shows, and yeah, you have big names, and of course a lot of these guys you've known for years. I know them because I've seen them. And what does it entail? You give them a call. I'm sure it's not, "Hey, can you perform on Monday?" There has to be like.
At this point, it is. "Hi, how's it going, man? Are you available on this date?" And if they're available on this date, I book them. I've been lucky enough to gain a reputation in the comedy world of Montreal that I'm respected and that I'm not gonna rip them off. I'm gonna pay. And basically it comes down to when they reach a certain level, are you gonna pay me? I've reached that level. That's why I agreed to do one show you booked me on, because I told you my fee and you paid it. And it was an interesting show that we did. It was full of racist people, and I learned a lot that day. That basically sometimes it's just ignore the crowd and do your bit.
There was, yes, I did put on that show. There was a racist couple, and what I found hilarious, the amount of people that bought the tickets that I know that came to the show. So some were like African American, Haitian, Jamaican. We had Greeks, Arabs, and it just boggles the mind. I mean, it was these two. And like I was telling someone, these two it's gonna turn out. This was like a racist crowd, but it was those two. And like when I do the shows, like they're coming. I'm coming to your next show, and no, you're not.
That's a matter of choice. I've had some interesting things that happened. Like the last show I did, I got booed even before I opened my mouth because I found out very quickly that it was a bunch of man-hating lesbians in the crowd. And it was boo, it's a man, so I didn't stand a chance. So basically I just straight hosted. I got back at them, I'd been told a penis joke, and they said it was gross. But you have to learn to adjust to your audience as quick as possible. You have to learn, like they say, to read the room. And that's true in anything.
No, it is true. Like it's true in anything. Whether you're walking into a store, especially in the metro, you have to be vigilant. You better read the room, and know, okay, I'll just wait for the next one, or let me just exit, take a walk to the next station. But even at that, like you put on shows, you've been invited to shows. Like I've read, I'm going to perform in Cornwall. I'm going to perform in Kingston. What show did you like? Was it Cornwall, Kingston? Where
I like them all. You have to find something of liking all of them, because if you don't like it, the audience picks it up and they're insulted. The audience is your bread and butter. Sure, I'm going to get my paycheck at the end, whatever, but I find something to like in all of them. Do I have one favorite show of all time? Yes. It was September 21st, 2007, where the lineup was Neil Jana was my host, David Pride was my opener, Heidi Foss was my second, I was third, Freddie James was fourth, and Mike Patterson was fifth. So it was a Just for Laughs gala. And I fit right in there, and there was 300 people, and everyone came to laugh. There was no heckling, there was nothing. They just came to laugh and have a party, and they did. That's my favorite of all time. But what I like as a producer, UCC, which stands for United Comedy Crew, started in 2006, and it started because at that time there was 2 comedy clubs in Montreal, and you had to wait months to get stage time. So I started a room, and a gentleman named Paul Ash started a room that would give stage time to newcomers. I've since evolved, putting on all pro shows, but what I like seeing is ones who have made it to Just for Laughs, and they'll go, I'd like to thank Richard Mullen for giving me my start, because that's why I started UCC. Some do go all the way, some don't, but that's life. It was like that for me when I played baseball. You make it to a certain level. I didn't make it all the way, but I made it up there. And I'm proud to say in comedy right now, I'm known. People like coming to my shows that I produce because I bring the best that's available.
the lineup never fails. They're all at the top of their game.
But that's my way of giving back to the public too, because everyone has a bad day now and then, especially Monday. And my shows are Monday. Last Monday of every month. But they come to my show, they don't spend much money. The bar I have it is quite inexpensive. It's Duffy's in Dorval. It's inexpensive. And they have a inexpensive night, and I do my best to have the show finished by 9:45, so they're home in bed by 11:30. so they could get up the next day to go to work or school or wherever they go. But it's giving back to the public. That's what I've done comedy for since the beginning, was giving back. Like, I remember my first show, which was the Joe Elias graduation class, my priest was in the front row. And I tell an anti-Catholic joke in my set. That went over very well. I got excommunicated and no idea.
You go to some of these shows, it's like $80 and it's two comics, but your shows, you have the top of the line, you have like maybe 4 comics, and everybody leaves laughing with a smile and feeling better than they did at the beginning of the day.
Yep. But that's what it should be. It shouldn't be done for a selfish reason. Look at me, I'm a star. Because that's going to happen anyway if you're good at what you do. You know, I'm not going to lie, it's good for your ego when you get stopped in a grocery store, ask for an autograph, when you're given a high five from the lead singer of the Village People, that you're funny. Ask for an autograph at that one. And I've worked, as you know, with all the legends in Canada. And it says because they like my honest comedy. You know, I did a show with Mike Patterson and Mike McDonald on the same lineup in Cornwall. And people dream of having that. And I've done it. I've done it with, and I'm still doing it. You know, my last show was with Heidi Foss, and my one in November is with Derek Seguin. And they make time to do shows for me. It's not anything like that, and it's because we have the same philosophy of comedy. We're giving back to the people, and we love when the people give back to us with laughter. That's all we ask for. The bar owners and everything else, we ask for something else, we ask for money, but we're making them money too, so it's the same difference.
No, that's it. It's not like it's not like you're, hey, can I throw a party at your bar? Where they're going to ask you, well, you can throw a party at my bar, but are people going to drink, or are you going to be here to lounge? In which you're going to have to find like 10 heavy drinkers to make sure that guy makes his money.
Not a problem. I'm Irish.
No, and I've thrown parties at nightclubs. Yeah, I'll get you. We do get the heavy drinkers because it's not myself. It's like myself and 2 others. Guys, we just have to find heavy drinkers. At the end of the night, the owner is happy. Like, yeah, you have 30 heavy drinkers. They're getting drinks, buying bottles. But the thing is, for comedy, I don't think the theory is you don't want the crowd to get drunk. Yes, I mean, some people, when they get drunk, they get belligerent and they're a little harder to control.
Yeah, but you learn to control it with experience. I don't want them blitz drunk. Believe me, I've dealt with blitz drunk. My fiance could attest to that. I almost got jumped on stage a couple of times, but it's an art, and you have to remember it's an art, and an art of handling a difficult crowd is part of that art, and they have a right to be themselves to a certain point, and when they reach that certain point, you hope the club or the bar that you're in will put a stop to it. I don't think a comedian should put a stop to it per se, but you hope that will happen. Like in one bar I worked in, they didn't do it, and my fiance did it. My 5'2" fiance took a 6'6" Newfie guy and told him to sit down and shut up, and he did. It was the funniest joke of the night. But you go for the experience, you go for the escape. That's what it is. And if it comes down to it, I'm in pain 24/7. I really am. And when I do a show, for those 2 hours, I'm not in pain. I escape my reality. And that's the main selfish reason I do it. And when people ask me how I could do it, and I tell them that, that's when I get the feedback. Hey, if you could do it, I could do it. And at the hospitals, a lot of time, not now as much, but before COVID, they would ask me to go and talk to patients, to give them motivation and help and tell them jokes and everything. And I'll always remember there was this Mr. Nurse who used to celebrate finishing his dialysis with 40 ounces of vodka. And you know me when I could be a jerk.
Yeah.
I was a jerk. I brought him a bottle of vodka and pictures of his grandkids. And I said, choose. And then a year later, he had his transplant. Those are the ones that I am proud of.
And with some people, unfortunately, you have to do it that. I'm guessing you have to do it that way to make them realize you're not only hurting yourself, you're going to be hurting a lot of other people.
Yes. He stopped drinking, and he went through the hard part of stopping drinking, and I would go visit him and just tell him jokes all the time. And we would never talk about his condition, which you must notice with us, meaning the comedy world. When I'm in the comedy part of it, no one talks about my conditions. I do on stage, but people are amazed and motivated even that aren't sick. I've heard it from all of them. And it's helped me to beat the odds.
That's it. Like, one thing, if you're always thinking about it, it's going to demotivate you. But if the way I look at it, like, you know what, I could beat this. I've got this beat. It's not taking me. And you keep on living the way you usually do. I find those people tend to beat the odds and survive, and live longer.
Well, here, I'll give you an example. I know a guy that spends just as much time in hospitals as I do. And he looks at it as the sponge bath, as I can't do it myself. And he gets all depressed and everything like that. And I turned it into one of my best jokes. Basically, what I do is, because my ex-wife was super jealous, she even got the hospital to agree to give me male nurses, which was horrible, but anyway. I would make it that the cutest nurse in the hospital offers me one, then my wife leaves early, then I take it, and it's Bubba, the ugliest man I've ever seen in my life, that comes and gives it. And that's the way I looked at the hospital. I would find anything to make jokes about it, so I didn't feel the doom and gloom. Because if you feel the doom and gloom in anything in life, that's when you start getting beat.
No, exactly. And I look at my dad, for example.
Mm-hmm.
88 years old. He took a tumble down the steps in Saint Laurent Metro. I went and see him the other day. He goes, the doctor told me to retire. They give him a pacemaker, but he refuses to retire. 88 years old. Instead of working 6 days a week, he works 4 now. But goes, I don't want to stop. And like I tell people, the minute he decides to stop, might as well start planning something, because it gives him something to do. It keeps his mind sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt, his sister, 93 years old, this is your nephew. Is this my nephew Paul from Canada? And we keep on talking. She's still sharp, because she does whatever she does, reads books, and it's like people look at retirement like, no, find an activity, find something else, work part-time. They will hire you somewhere will hire you part-time. Doesn't mean it's the end.
No, The only time it's the end is when you say it's the end. And I refuse to say it's the end. I see my future now. It's extremely bright. And I'm 56 years old. And I thank God every day I'm 56 years old. Because scientifically, I should have been dead at 14.
Exactly, but that's because you have the will to survive. It's like saying,
I'm too stubborn. It's not the will. I walked in under my own strength with a 900 blood sugar and told them to fix me. I was angry then. I wasn't Mr. Comedian, Mr. Ha ha ha. I've become that. Gets me out of trouble with my fiance too.
yeah, making somebody laugh usually does get you out of trouble.
Yeah, we were having an argument once, or a discussion. I'm not allowed to say argument. And she said, "Do you know what illegal is?" I said, "Yeah, it's a sick bird." So she started laughing, argument over. No, comedy is a very powerful tool in life. And I'm glad that I've become somewhat of a master with it.
No, that you have. Even like whether it was the open mics or I go see one of your shows and you're up there, you always point at me, do a little joke, and I just start laughing like, it's cool. Like, even one person goes, he got you good. Yeah, he always does, don't worry about it, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do, get mad? No, not worth it.
Because you have to take things from where they come.
Exactly. They're like I told somebody, you know what? When he does it to me, he's not doing it to be mean. It's just, it's Paul. I'm gonna have a laugh. Let's have fun. That's all it is.
I fooled you all these years. No.
Yeah, exactly. So, when is your next show?
My next show is October 12th. It's a dinner show. It's called Interrude. It's a musical satire show. Part of my bid is going to be I'm going to get the audience to write a song during the show with the beauty of AI apps. And we're going to write the lyrics and I'm going to turn it into a song by the end of the show. I have Not Your Average Joe Bowman, Tanya O'Halloran. Both of them are talented musicians and talented comedians. And then after that, on the 28th of October, I have Lucy and the Boys with Lucy Gervais, Vance Michel, and Fabrice. But our tagline for UCC is heal the world one joke at a time. And I'm glad to say we've been doing it. And we've given money to charity. I even have my own charity at St. Mary's Hospital called the Richard Thomas Mullen Patient Comfort Fund. And it's not research, it's not anything but to give patients, long-term patients, what they need to be comfortable in the hospital. Because I spend a lot of time in the hospital and TV gets old.
That it does. It's repetitive, especially if there's no cable. It's like,
Oh no, they don't. They have cable. I don't know which hospital you go to.
you know what I mean, right? It's like, it's repetitive. It's like repetitive, same shows. Then we begin with the reruns. Is there something else? I've seen this already.
Yeah, but little things cheer them up, like a visit, flowers. Even men like receiving flowers. They'll never admit it, but when they're sick, they admit flowers. So if you want to send a guy flowers, it's good. Because I know by now the cameramen have noticed that my hands shake all the time. And that's because of all the meds I take. But the joke is my fiance said yes because I'm a human vibrator. I say that early in the show so that people know what's going on and they're not distracted by the hands.
And that's mostly, I guess, for people that are really paying attention, right?
Oh, people pay attention to me. And most of the people that I bring on stage because they're that level of pro. You know, I brought some people from Cornwall and nobody knew who they were. And you could hear only laughter, and they were really got into it, and it was great. My headliner was JC Lafontaine, and these guys, I never even heard of them. I took them on a recommendation, and I put them on, and my stomach was sore from laughing. And you know me, I don't laugh at shows.
That's true. You're more like...
I'm analyzing.
Exactly. You usually pick your corner, you look, and you're just there watching, and then especially when with like people like myself that we're still at the low levels, trying to get our bearings. You're analyzing, and then you're giving us like, hey man, that was good, but if you would have done it this way, and you're giving the tips, which, to be honest, I'm glad you do that, or else you won't advance. You'll never know, and you're never going to try. And it's a slow process to get up there. It's not. I don't think it's one day to the next.
Well, I started UCC in 2006, and I'm not satisfied yet.
Because it's a slow process, right?
Faster for some, but I don't think I ever want to be satisfied because then you lose the drive.
No, exactly. It's like there's having a passion and working at it, and then like some people, once you reach that level, yeah, okay, you reach the level, but that journey still didn't end.
Mm-hmm.
There's another step you're going to have to go to, then another and another. And it's, and I think it works with comedians as well as with actors, musicians, athletes. It's like I forget who the athlete is. Hey man, once you make it up there, there's still more you got to strive for.
Well, most of the GOATs say that.
And you know what? That's absolutely true. So you reach this level, that journey's not over. It's like you beat, like let's say you beat Gretzky's points, you beat this point. There's still more you got to go to, more you got to achieve to end it on a good, not even a high note, a good note.
No, high note is good to shoot for. But you use hockey and all that for an example. When Ovechkin finally beats the goals and everything like that, he's done everything he can do in hockey, but not in life. And that's what people got to learn quick, you know?
Because once that's over, you still have a life to live.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do afterwards?
For me, I've reached what I want to do. I want to do comedy the rest of my life. When the time comes that when I pass away, I want a roast and a toast at my funeral. I don't want boo-hoo-hoo, Richard's dead. I want jokes and a party, because that's how I live my life.
Exactly.
And it's, like they say in French, enfin.
That's right. And yeah, I mean, everybody, like, as you said once, everybody has goals in life, everybody has, but if you don't put the work into it, you're never going to achieve it. Nothing's going to be given to you on a silver platter.
No.
And like I have friends. Yeah, I work for my father's company, but you think, and they're running it out. You think it was given to me? Like even one person I know, like his jaw dropped to the floor. Like the father sold the company. He goes, but Dad, you think I'm going to give you something that you don't want to put work into? Like, and that's why I tell people, yeah, we have to be careful with the word nepotism, because a lot of these people really did work to get where they are. It wasn't.
Yeah.
There was no help. There was, like, if you're there, I told somebody, you want to talk nepotism? Nicolas Cage. He's Coppola's nephew. So he did one film for Coppola, and that was it. After that, he goes, after that, I was on my own. I didn't get any help. So he says, right? But we don't know. We really don't know. It's like, I'd rather work for something than it be just given to me open-handed. And which I find brings more value to once you achieved it.
Well, one challenge I have now is one of my doctors. His name is Dr. Koterovich. And every visit, I got to tell him a joke. And every visit, he doesn't laugh at the joke. His reaction is interesting, in that tone, until I finally made him laugh. And that made me feel so good that it showed me that I haven't reached all my goals yet. And like last show, Duffy's, which is a small joint, had 50 people in it, standing room only. Now when I get Derek, I want 2 nights. I'm still gonna push and push and push and push because I'm afraid, oh, here it comes. I'm afraid that if I don't push, I'm gonna lose. And me losing means me no longer being on Earth. And I have too much to live for now. And comedy is my weapon.
Any words of advice before we go, Richard? To the people, like I'll take it as advice, and to people that will be watching this.
Always be yourself, always be respectful, never give up, and always smile.
Fantastic. Thank you for being on the Rena Show. And I thank viewers, everybody enjoy this. And we'll come up with another segment soon of the Rena Show. Thank you.